In case you don't know, I'm obsessed with the SP-404. It is my baby. It is how I perform live when I play. And I'm so excited to be a part of this release and to be able to show you guys what this thing is capable of. So let's do a quick overview of the unit before we turn it on, and then we can get to sampling on this beautiful creature. So the body is plastic, but very well built as always. And we have these knobs. I'm not even sure if they come off. Oh, they do come off. All right, cool. We can customize our knobs. We will be doing that eventually. Just like with the original SP-404, the faceplate is removable, so you'll be able to take it off and customize it, put a skin on it. Something that I didn't notice like right off the bat when I saw this, and it was like, oh, we have an extra set of 4 buttons. So we actually have 16 pads here. How beautiful is this? Same buttons over here. We have our filter, resonator, delay, isolator, DJ effects, looper, and MFX. But more on that later. Let's just go ahead and look at the outputs because, oh my goodness, look at this. We have 1/4-inch outputs and inputs. I never thought I would see the day when we would have 1/4-inch inputs and outputs on the SP-404 and USB-C, guys. Like, the future is here. So excited. Spoiler alert, you can sample straight from the USB. The SD card slot has been moved to the side. And on the bottom, we have our headphone output, we have gain for our input, and now we can choose if we want it to be for a mic or a guitar. Also, battery powered, same as the last ones. We have 6 AA batteries. I do wish they would have done something like the MPC Live 2 where it has a built-in battery. But Roland doesn't really want to update their products that often. Like the last SP-404 that we got was the A, and that was pretty much kind of like the SX but with a different skin. And I really feel like we don't really know like the longevity of these portable batteries, so I guess they played it safe with the AA's. You can also power it through USB with a power bank. I also forgot to mention on the back now we have MIDI in and out. So that's going to be exciting for new possibilities with our other gear. Something else new is this button right here, which is our push encoder, and it's like how we select through our menus. So let's plug this baby in and see what it can do. I might just call it MkII because it sounds cooler. All right, guys. So right off the bat, we noticed something super amazing, right? The screen. And hold on. Are you ready for this? Ah, our wave. Now we can finally see our waveform. This is something that like people have been asking for. Who knew Roland was listening, right? So excited that a company is actually giving us what we want. So my first thing when I saw this was like, wow, so cool. Yes, finally we can see the waveform. But now there's a screen. So like, how much menu diving is going to be on this thing? Does it change the workflow? Because like, that's one of the beautiful things about the SP-404, that there's no menu, that everything is like hands-on. So I was a bit worried at first, like did they change the workflow a lot? And I'm here to tell you guys that no, the workflow is exactly the same, but now we can see our waveform. Like, how cool is that? And also we have a lot of other cool, awesome features. So our layout is very similar, which I like because, you know, I didn't want it to change too much because I do love my SP how it is. They did get rid of the lo-fi button and added this BPM sync. And then on top of that, under these letters, we can see chop. Yes, you can chop samples straight on this thing. So a lot of people will tell you that even though playing samples on the SP-404 and playing the chops is a lot of fun, actually chopping them can be a bit tedious. That's because every time you chop a sample, you know, you copy it, you paste it onto another pad, and then you have to go in and manually adjust the start and end points. We don't have to do that anymore because we have this beautiful screen. Something else that is new to the SP-404 MkII is that we now have projects. So now, not only do we have these 16 pads and these 5 banks, we have this times 16, guys. So like, that's insane. That's one of the things that mostly blew my mind because now you can load a set for each specific project. So I can have like an electronic set, my lo-fi set. I can have a project where I just use for my drums, and then I can just copy and paste that into my other projects. So now I have like my drum template. You can export your projects, organize them. They also released an SP-404 MkII app where you get like a visual representation of what's going on. You don't need the app to use the 404. It's just extra if you really want to like really get in there and move your stuff around. I think it's super useful. We're gonna see it in action when we load our drum samples in here. Something else to mention is that now we have built-in memory aside from our SD card, and everything actually runs from the built-in memory. So that is a big difference between this one and the old one. With the old one, you could just load up your SD card with your files and your songs ready to go and just play effects over them. With this one, you do have to transfer them into the internal memory. So let's start from the top to the bottom and then get to making some music. So to the left, we have our volume knob. We have these 3 knobs over here that control our effects depending on which effect we are on. Also, something cool, this isn't just our filter. This isn't just our resonator. Oh, you can already hear that noise because It's not my resonator. I actually set that to my vinyl. So you can set all of these effects to whatever effects that you want. Like, how cool is that? It's not just that effect. So even though it says filter right here, I actually have this set to my reverb. I have the delay to delay, this is my vinyl, and everything else I've left the same. The MFX now, when we hold the MFX button, we get access to all of our effects. And then if you hold it and you scroll down, you can access some more effects. We also have 2 bus effects. So for example, I can have bus 1 and I can just leave my vinyl on. And then if I go to bus 2, I can play everything else on it that way, right? So let's just turn that off for now. I know you guys are dying to hear this thing, but I just wanted to do a walkthrough for people that aren't familiar with the 404. Another cool addition is that we actually now have a copy button instead of having to use the shift function, which is super useful when you're building variations of our samples. And then something super special, okay? There's like, this thing is like, your mind is about to be blown. Is this mark button changed completely to do something very special, but more on that later. All right, so let's hear this sample that I have. This is some guitar that I played straight into the input. And we actually have a few effects for the input, and we have a guitar amp simulator, and it actually sounds really good. So this is my classical guitar. So that was our sample. Okay, so you know, it's cool, but we can do a little more to it. So we have our sample now. You know, we could go and edit the start points, but it's pretty perfect. But actually, we can also, are you guys ready for this? We can change the pitch of it, and look how beautiful that is. All the way to 150%. And all the way down to 50%. Let's bring that up to 115, and now let's chop this thing. So turn to the chop menu, we're gonna press shift and chop. We're just gonna press our pads and it's gonna start chopping. All right, and we can see all of our beautiful marks. Next, we're gonna press the encoder, and it's gonna ask us, if we wanted to auto mark it, it would have done it by the transients, but you know, it's a lot funner to do it manually. And then we're just gonna assign it to pads. So we're going to select all of them. We don't wanna like sample over these, so it shows us that like, okay, these are already used. So I think we're just gonna do them right over here. Enter. We can see that that chop is a little late. No problem, we just go to our start and end point. So in our sample editing menu, this first knob controls our start point. The second knob controls nothing because our loop isn't on. If our loop was on, it would control our loop point. But we're not turning it into a loop right now. We just want it as a gate. So I'm gonna turn that off. And then our last knob controls our endpoint. And then if we want to zoom in, we just use this encoder. We can zoom all the way out or all the way in. Very, very, very in. We can zoom all the way in. Beautiful. So that sounds good to me. I'm gonna press the encoder and truncate it. We hear a little pop in front of that one. We're just gonna go in and edit it. Right there, truncate. So even after it's been chopped, we can still change the pitch of things. These are the same note, so I'm going to change this one. That sounds dope already. need to add drums. So let's go ahead and add some drums because I actually haven't loaded my drums into this project yet. And I forgot to back up my last project before the last update and I lost my drums. So I thought this would be a perfect time to show you guys how to use the editor. Okay, so I just plugged in my SP-404 through USB-C and I'm gonna click over here where it says connect. Now my SP is gonna show up here. And the cool thing is that while I'm editing, I can actually see what's going on. So as I'm playing on my SP, it's gonna show me on the screen. So like that's super cool and super useful for arranging your patterns, arranging your pads. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add some drums to this thing. So let me go into here, my Wii drums. Let's grab a kick. That first kick sounds pretty crunchy. I'll just drag it and drop it and boom, how beautiful. How beautiful is that? All right, now I'm gonna go into my snares. Oh, I like number 6, that's the crunchy one. These are from my Fat Buddha drums, in case you haven't grabbed them. And then let's go into the hats. Oh, that's crunchy. Let's put a hat right there. And I like that one too. And it's that simple, guys. How cool is that? All right, so now cool, but our guitar is sounding a little bland, right? I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna resample this. So we're going to add a bus. We're going to add our vinyl sim. Oh yeah. So remember how I said there was something special about the mark button? I'm just gonna play and I'm gonna show you. So look, nothing is pressed, record is not pressed. Check this out. Okay, mark, skip back. It is automatically recorded. The skip back feature is like next level, guys. Check this out. Our sample, we didn't even have to record. We didn't have to resample. We didn't have to do anything. How beautiful is this? There is one drawback. It's only, I believe it's 26 seconds. It plays the last 26 seconds of whatever audio it just recorded. So you can't really use it for like longer phrases, but just for like in the moment, let's say, it's kind of like Ableton's MIDI clip recorder. So like you play something, you're like, hey, actually that sounds good. Let me just use that and here we go. How beautiful is that? Now we can make that into a pad. So now I'm gonna press the encoder, truncate. I'm going to press the record button and I'm gonna save it onto a pad. And there it is, guys. So technically we have 3 workflows now. We can do the resample method, we can use the pattern sequencer, or we can use the skip back, which has been like my go-to because it is just so instant. So now I can just go ahead and add some drums to this. Mark. And here's our loop. And you wouldn't think like I timed that absolutely perfectly. That actually worked out way more perfect than it normally does because like I said, it's only 26 seconds, I believe. So sometimes if you're playing too long, like it will cut that beginning, but that was perfect. Like it knew I was filming, that's what happened. So now we have that loop and now we can just go ahead and record that and put that onto another pad. Okay, so let's say I want to make that a loop, right? Because yes, I could hold it, I could even press hold, but what if I want to make it a perfect loop? We can actually do that now, right? Because, you know, we got the loop, we got the screen. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to our endpoint. I'm just gonna see where this ends. So I can just go over here to the end. And instead of listening to the whole loop from the beginning, I can actually just press the roll button and it plays the end of the loop. So that's pretty dope. So instead of having to listen to the whole loop or mess with my start point, I can just press the roll and it plays the last part of the loop. All right, so I want that to end. Beautiful, perfect loop. Oh my goodness. All right, so enter, truncate. Now I can go over here. So let's use this moment to check out our new effects now that we have a nice dope loop going. So I'm gonna start this loop and I'm gonna show you the effects. The first one is scatter, and that's a new one because we didn't have scatter before on the 404. The scatter can get a little crazy, so you definitely don't wanna overuse it, but I'm gonna just show you. It's definitely like intense, but here's an example of it. Like it's pretty intense when you're just using it on its own, but if you're using it with other effects, it fits into the mix nicely. Our next effect is going to be, I believe this is down tempo. So I've definitely added some cool, new, interesting effects to the new MFX, and it's great that we can actually see what they are. So the next one, I can't really see what the name is until I press it, so let's see what this is. Hear that one. This is actually one of my favorite ones to use. So this is the stopper. So it's great for like doing like transitions or just like using it in the middle of a beat. I love that stopper effect. All right, let's continue. those are MFX. The last page can definitely be ear piercing, so just be careful when you're editing and like tweaking, because you know you do need to make sure that you're not setting the resonance all the way high when you're like doing a performance, or you're gonna make people deaf and you know they're not gonna like you very much. So yes, those are the new MFX. I really hope that in the future we can like set a favorite page so we don't have to like hold it and then press down to be able to go to the second page. But you see it's pretty quickly. Once we're up to that second page, we can just use the buttons as well to pick that effect. And you can also use the knob as well. So like I mentioned before, we can take any of those 32 effects and set them to our 6 effect pads, which is awesome. To do that, we're going to press Shift and 16, which takes us to our EFX settings. We can have our master bus for everything. So like you can actually set them, and there's some already on there. You can have a couple of favorites already on there on like your complete full output. So that's pretty dope. And then to navigate through our pages, we're going to use this last knob. It is this page right here. So here we can set what we want each pad to do, and we just press it and we pick whatever we want. So on this first one, I have my reverb. I can change it to a chorus. I can change it to whatever of those effects that I want. Also, did you guys notice that now we have a 303 vinyl sim emulator? Dope. So I'm gonna leave that as my reverb because I do like to have my reverb on there. Quick and easy access to my reverb. So now it is time to sample, and we're going to do it straight through USB with the iPad. The iPad and the 404 is such an amazing combo, guys. Like, this is gonna change so many workflows you guys don't even know yet. All right, so we wanna make sure that our external source is lit, and we're gonna be sampling an artist today. She is so fly. Her name is JAde. She makes cool synthesizer videos and tutorials, so you know, check her out. Dallas Jamming. Alright, so that's all I want. I'm gonna press mark. And I actually want it where the bass starts, so yeah, let's do it that way when the Mother 32 starts. So we're gonna zoom in over here. A little more. We can get real close. Perfect, so I'm gonna press that, truncate. I didn't even press record just because this skip back feature is so helpful. Okay, we wanna make sure we don't lose that. We need to press record so we can save that to a pad. We're gonna do that over here. And boom, here it is. Magic. So now I can go change this up a bit. That sounds dope. Let's go ahead and chop that. That's it. All right, we're going to press our encoder, assign to pad, and we're just gonna assign it once again. As simple as that. So now we can go over here and we can copy. We can copy multiple, no, we can't copy multiple pads, I lied. Okay, we can erase multiple pads though, so that's cool. So if you press delete, you can delete multiple pads. So we're gonna copy that first pad, paste it over here. Easy peasy. Go over here, copy this pad, paste it by pressing the copy button again. Okay, so now we have our drums copied onto our second bank and we can get to jamming. Yeah, how cool was that? Now we can go to Mark. And here's our loop. Let's see how much of it I got. Like I told you, it only does 26 seconds, so we did lose that first part because we didn't record it. But if we did want to record it, so let's say cancel this, so we don't have to use the mark, we don't have to use the skip back, we can record that into the actual SP-404. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to press record over here, and then I have it on wait. So it's going to, actually no, I'm sorry, I'm going to resample. So record is for when you're recording an external source. Since we don't have anything plugged in, we're gonna use resample because what that's gonna do is it's gonna record our pads. So just remember this, record is for recording something external and resample is for recording the pads in like a different order. So I'm going to cancel and I'm gonna press resample. I press the pad that I want my new sample to be recorded into and then I start playing. Here we go. And that's it. And then I press record and here's my loop. All right, so here we go. We're gonna make sure it ends right before that kick starts. And I hear a little pop, so we went a little too far, so. Perfect, so now I'm gonna truncate it. And hopefully that will give us a perfect loop. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got to see what this SP-404 is capable of. I've definitely just scratched the surface with this thing, but I hope that you got an idea of what you can do with this thing because it is definitely a big upgrade. Let's put it next to Bay because, you know, this is still Bay. But honestly, this will definitely replace my 404 when it comes to live performance, especially because of being able to have more than just these pads and like this project. Because with this is all you get. With the OG 404, well actually, here's the OG. Let's do this a family portrait, okay? So with these two, you know, we only had 12 pads. Now we have 16 pads. We only have these banks and that's it. Now we have these banks plus 16 projects, guys. So like, you know, there are definitely a lot of updates. We can edit our effects just so much. And also something else that, you know, was a big issue with these is that these are really noisy. Being able to just record straight out of the output without having to use the resample method, because that's what I would have to do to make sure that my tracks weren't so noisy. Just definitely worth the upgrade, and I don't say this often. So if you're thinking about picking one of these up, definitely do so. Also, the price is right. Hello, can we like give a shout out to Roland, because I believe this is the same price as the SP-404A. So they literally just gave us an update and left it the same price. Gave us a cool app. Definitely cop this. This is definitely new Bay. You guys know that like I have a lot of gear and I make a lot of music and I make a lot of tutorials and stuff, but in reality, the way that I make music is my 404, my montage, my guitar, and my modular, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is just like, you know, it's icing on the cake. It can come, it can go, whatever, but this is Bay. These are Bays. So cop that SP-404. You won't regret it. When it comes to comparing it to something like the Machine Plus or the MPC Live 2, I mean, obviously those are more like full workstations, like MPC, music production computer. So like that's more of a computer in a box. And like, yes, it can be a lot more capable and you can go a lot more deeper, but nothing beats like having that immediate feel of like using an instrument, because that's what it really feels like. With the MPC or the Machine, you really feel like you're doing a lot more programming. More with the MPC, but the Machine is a lot more hands-on too. But just being able to just do everything by just memorizing your buttons and just, I mean, look at this thing. It's just gorgeous, okay? So comparing it to one of those machines isn't really fair because, you know, it's like less than half the price of those. And I feel like this is a great starting point, not only for beginners, but for anyone that is into sampling, especially because of that skip back feature. Like, that's just mind-blowing. You don't really have to think about much. You just get to sampling, get to making music, and that's what's important. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around. Don't forget to check out my music channel. I got some other videos on the SP-404 on there as well. Chopping samples, making music. Check out my other channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe on both of those. Thank you guys for watching. Lots of more cool content coming, so stick around and I'll catch you in the next one. This video is brought to you by DistroKid. So I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to get your music in stores. These are all the albums and singles I've uploaded, and to upload a track, you're just gonna press upload. So here it's going to ask me if it's a single or an album. Today we're gonna be uploading a single. If you want to add a different release date, you can. Then we're gonna upload our album art. I made this using Procreate on my iPad. My primary genre would be hip hop, then jazz. This song is called Circumstances. This is where we upload our file. Yes, I am the songwriter. No explicit lyrics. Yes, this is an instrumental. And then some extra options like the store maximizer or leave a legacy. There's also a link in the description with a discount, so check that out if you're thinking of signing up.